Welcome to the StockManor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockManor Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And welcome to the Monday afternoon video newsletter. We were up today, but started with a gap. So once again, Monday is an up day. Go figure. Seems to be the MO. We talked about that this weekend. However, this one very tough to trade. With the gap up, then absolutely sideways all day long. But what is it putting in? Yes, a high base formation. Gee. So here we are on the 60 minute with the head and shoulders pattern that I said was really the only bearish thing going for the markets right here. Waiting for a little bit of a break below these levels here to really start to add some confirmation to the move. But of course, and I mentioned it too this weekend that these head and shoulders have not been working out at all. Just a bunch of fakes on the charts to get people maybe looking one way or the other and then fake it back to the upside. Now we are coming into month end. That is Wednesday. Wednesday is the end of the month, and Thursday will be kind of a slow day, I believe, in the markets because Friday we're not trading. So 3-day weekend for everyone. And no trading on Friday, which means I don't know. Gut would tell me that we would be most apt to kind of float sideways and or up into the rest of the week without any kind of a major catastrophe happening between now and then. We should see the volume start to lighten up coming in towards to the end of the week, especially around the Wednesday and definitely Thursday time frame as the bigger money starts to just head off to the Hamptons or wherever they go in preparation for Easter weekend with the family. So we should see the volume start to dry up, and that usually means a flat to more bullish type days as we end the week. So we'll be watching for that now pushing forward. I think if the Bears were going to take this, they needed to kind of do it today. And they didn't do it. They didn't make use of this head and shoulders. Bulls pulled it up at the beginning of the day and then just sideways all day long. So here's what we're looking at on a daily, though, and you can see that it does appear that we've kind of gotten out of this blue line and now we're back to retest it. Still difficult to call it a break and a retest quite yet. Still in the bigger picture, I'm looking at it overall just looks like a high base formation at this point. So expect more sideways to upwards motion. Maybe it tracks the underside of this blue line as we move from day to day into the end of the week. Maybe Thursday we see a pop above it or a close above it because there's nobody to sell, so they can push the market any way they want to come the end of the week. Watch for that as we move forward. I'm just watching for major levels to break 10,800 and ultimately 10,700 before I start looking at a more bearish position. NDX, you can see it here doing the same thing. Gap up, moving sideways, no motion there today. On a daily, same thing. Look at the little tiny doji showing us a low of 1056 and a high of 1068. So 13 points all day long, putting in a little teeny tiny doji up here. I'm expecting the same thing maybe on the NASDAQ, floating sideways to maybe up the rest of the week. Here you can see us one day into it, very, very early yet, but we are holding the 1960, 1970 area I had talked about last week. SPX on a 60-minute did get above. You can see us move above this trend line. And now, once again, floating sideways, hanging right onto and using as perfect support the 20-period moving average on the 60-minute charts. So, holding very nicely in a high base formation. So, from a daily standpoint, the SPX doing what everything else is doing, and that's starting to move back up. Now, we have had a break of this blue line. Maybe we see it come back up and retest, and where would that take us? Yeah, upwards towards that 1180 mark, I think, by the end of the week. No reason to think we can't get there. All we've seen is up, back, up, back, up, back, up, now back, and then up again. So, unless we break these heavier levels down here, I really don't see any reason to get bearish yet. Just continue with your bullish plays, maybe in at the beginning of the day and out at the end of the day if you're playing the indices, and watch your stocks for bigger moves. So this could float its way back up to the underside of this trend line up there around the 1180 mark before it's all said and done. From a weekly standpoint, also starting to push its way up, but it's only Monday, so we've got a little ways to go. Remember, end of week is Thursday because of Good Friday. VIX on a daily down again today, so just no fear in the markets. Overall, you can see it on a weekly hanging between these little lines down here, putting in, well, what could be considered, I guess, from a TA standpoint of a low base. Just waiting to see where it goes. If the markets trickle upwards, that'd be a great reason to see this float downwards right back into this lower support again on the VIX. Apple on a 60-minute up